Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new episode of Taste Test. My name is Sean and every Wednesday and Saturday I try the weird, the wonderful, and the limited edition. If you'd like more, subscribe and ring the bell. If you have a suggestion, leave it in the comments below what it is, where to find it. You might see it on a future episode. Today we have and it says, let's check the label here, the besties for a limited time. That's right, we have the Coca-Cola Creation Oreo, or Oreo Coca-Cola Creation, and we have the limited edition companion piece, which is the Coca-Cola Oreos, and we're also going to try it in Slurpee form. This was actually an interesting reminder because when I was going to fact check just to make sure that the soda was only in zero sugar form, I was reminded that this is in Slurpee. So I needed to go try that, and I was lucky enough to find it. This is a weird collaboration, kind of an exciting collaboration. I love that we're not just getting Coca-Cola Oreos, or we're not just getting Oreo Coca-Cola, we're getting them both together at the same time. What's interesting about this is a couple of things. One, the soda is only available in the Coke Zero zero sugar version. There is no regular Coca-Cola version. Let's try. I don't know what to start with. So we have the Oreo cookies, which are Coca-Cola with popping candy. They're black on one side and regular chocolate, or red on the other side. They are in the smaller limited edition package, which is probably 3 or 4 cookies like shorter this way. So it is that kind of specialty packaging. I believe this was $5. The bottle itself, I think, was like $2.50, something like that. So if you wanted to try this, it's only like $7.50, which is fine. I don't know. Oh, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about it, you can also, I think I have seen these in smaller snack packs, but I just didn't see them when I went and finally found these, because it took me a while to get a hold of these. So you could probably find it a little cheaper. You might even be able to find it for closer to like $5, depending on how much those snack packs go for. So keep an eye out for that if they sound interesting to you, because it is kind of a cool collaboration. We've had some of these Oreos with popping candies before. I don't know that they're my favorite things in the world, but that's okay. There is supposed to be a seal here somewhere, maybe. Oh, there it is. I got it. Don't worry. Local man knows how to eat Oreos. It's all good. Now, right off the rip, whoa, that smells like Oreo, or Coca-Cola. Oh my God, my brain. That really genuinely smells like Coca-Cola. Wow. I didn't really know what I was expecting. You kind of think it's like, oh, it'll maybe be like, it'll be Coca-Cola, but it'll be kind of like a scent, but it's just more the popping candy is the sensation of like a fizz, that sort of thing. For it to smell like that, like a freshly cracked Coke, is pretty wild. I really like the way that these are packaged a lot more, even than the regular Oreos. These are easier to get to, which I appreciate. They do appear to be the double stuff. I did not mean to bump the microphone. I apologize. And they're coming apart already. So there you go. Man, they really smell like Oreo. They have a little red thing on the bottom that has a couple of bottles on it. So a little fun little design there. There's the popping candy. It took a while for that to kick in. And it's not doing it quite as much as I thought it would. There's a lot of it, but it's a very subtle popping in the as you work through the bite. It kind of kicks in a little bit. These are fascinating. I think they're actually good. They are both accurate and they are good. I don't know that they're like a cookie you're going to go back to. You might have a couple think that they're like okay or whatever, and then you'll just kind of move on, which is fine. That's understandable. That's what a lot of this limited edition stuff is. I had some of the Mountain Dew stuff on recently where it's kind of like none of those extra Mountain Dews have been the good enough to buy it twice sort of thing. And that's where a lot of these Oreos sit as well, is this really cool idea or interesting idea, and you eat a couple of them and you're like, it's maybe a little too sweet or whatever. Even though you like it or you think it's a good flavor, you kind of just go like, I'm not going to buy these again. If they were at a party, I might eat them, that sort of thing. These are well worth going out of your way for. They are so solidly scented. They are flavored really well. They taste like Coca-Cola. The popping candy adds exactly what you would think it would add, which would be kind of like the fizzy bubble sort of things. But for it to have such a strong and identifiable scent, for it to be like good tasting, that is wild. That is so surprising. I think the popping candies probably could have been a little bit bigger and given you a little bit more of the popping, like more powerful pops, but I don't think that they, much like when I review things that are lemon, I don't think that they're wrong with what they did. I just would have personally preferred it a different way. Still an interesting sensation and really doubles down on what it is like to take a drink of Coca-Cola in a cookie form. Now, we are going to move on to the Coke Zero, or the Zero Sugar, I guess Coke Zero. Okay. That doesn't smell good. It doesn't really have an identifiable scent. I guess you would want it to smell more on the cream side, the filling side. It's a flat, kind of bland nothing. Doesn't really smell like Coca-Cola. I don't feel like I'm really picking up any sort of, it's like almost like a muted Coca-Cola. Like the flavor that they put in is getting in the way. It's in there. That taste is in there. I can really taste that cookie. I don't think there's any cream, any of the cream. In the same way, well, I guess in the opposite way of the Oreos tasting like a bite of a soda, this kind of just tastes like you've gotten two Oreo cookies, I guess. What? Let's see. Sandwich cookies. But you just have the bread part. You just have the outside. And there's no real cream aspect to it. It's interesting. I think it's a good 20-ounce beverage buy if you're curious. If you're not like super interested in it or excited or anything like that, I think you could probably pass on that. I would recommend the Oreos as a far more interesting selection. This, I think, is a little bit more of a pass. The flavor of the Oreo is definitely a little bit deeper through the drink. It was kind of the aftertaste, similar to the popping candy, but because the Oreos had its guest flavor as a prominent first feature, and the popping candy was a more, like I said earlier, a double down, I think that really makes that worth trying, whereas this is like, oh, I'm taking a drink of Coke, and then you start to finish the drink and you go, oh, there's the chocolate. It's like a little too late, it's a little too delayed, and it's just not that interesting. It should be creamier, which feels like a weird sentence to say about a soda. Well, nah, not if it's orange cream. Yeah, it's there. There's too much of the Coca-Cola flavor, which is unfortunate. Oreo, hey, Oreo, you really nailed your half Coca-Cola. You left a little bit to be desired with your creations, which is not out of the norm. I do think that the Coca-Cola creations are more often a miss than a hit. I've had most of them. I don't think I've had all of them because I kind of pick and choose which ones I try, and I'm not usually super excited about them anyway. And last but not least, we actually get to try the Slurpee version of the Oreo Coke Zero Sugar version of it. There you go. This was a bit of a pain to come by. I got this cup because it's like a little bit of a, I guess it wasn't a pain to come by. It was a pain to get from there to here. I got this cup, which is kind of styrofoamy, so that it would hold longer between the 7-Eleven and when I got here. But this lid doesn't fit on super well, and so it was a near disaster in the car. So let's see how this goes. I'm terrified to like set this down because I feel like it's just going to tip over and it's going to just ruin everything. Oh, that's the spoon side. Give this a... It smells Oreo-y. Oreo-y? I gotta give this a good stir. This is not a good... It's not a good mix. There was like a lot of syrup. Like it just kind of like poured out in there, and then like I stopped it and then went again, and it was like, oh, here's the Slurpee part of all of this. It's like, that's what I wanted in the first place, please? Okay. Ugh. That's really bad. Is it better as a... I mean, it's... This is interesting. It doesn't taste good. So the thing that I was the most curious about as we set this down carefully. Careful, SpongeBob. The thing that I was most curious about would be what the difference is between the taste in the Coca-Cola bottle and the Slurpee version of it. And I actually think that the Slurpee brings out the chocolate flavor a little bit more. It's a little more consistent with, like, it tastes like just the cookies of the Oreo, but it's more so than the Coca-Cola. It still has the same problem where it's missing that, like, cream filling part of it. It doesn't feel like it's taking a bite of an Oreo in a drink form, which is what it should be. But it's not the worst thing in the world. I didn't even, as I realized after I was done kind of recording that little chunk of it, I realized that I didn't even knock it for being zero sugar. And I don't think there's really a problem with the zero sugar. Usually those are kind of the ones where we have those zero sugar energy drinks and some of that stuff where you just go like, oh, it needs like just like a touch of it. It doesn't have to be the most sugar in the world, but it could just use like a little bit of sweetness in there. I don't think that the Coke Zero or this Slurpee Coke Zero really have that problem. I just think that the Cokes miss the mark on what the cookie excels at. And that is, I am eating a Coke in cookie form, whereas this should be, I'm drinking a cookie in soda form or Slurpee form. So it's pretty easily, number one would be the cookie. Number two, I'd actually give the edge to the Slurpee. I think it's a little bit better than the Coca-Cola. And I think because you can get it in such like a small size, it feels like a more fun, it's a more fun treat, a funner treat, a more interesting thing to give a whirl to. Obviously Slurpees are at 7-Eleven, so be sure to check that. Yeah, this was an interesting get. I'm glad that it exists, but I don't think you need to rush out and get it. However, if you are interested in it and there is a 7-Eleven in your area, this isn't the worst thing to go run out and try. So it's actually the third 7-Eleven that I had gone to. The first one that I went to was in Yakima, where I did that hot dog video, and I was excited because I was going to just knock it out on my little GoPro and just like, bang, hey, there we go, and we'll get that edited all together. But the red light was on, which meant that you couldn't use it. Now, they had 6 flavors of Slurpee, and guess how many flavors were the do not use when lit? If you guessed the number 1, you would be correct, and it was the one that I was looking for. I tried a second 7-Eleven in Seattle, but I made the adult decision to not hold literally everything up to try a Slurpee, miss a train that would lead us to miss a bus that would then have another bus at an indeterminate time because of Apple Cup traffic. So we were smart on that one. Third and final one was here near where I live, and they did have it. So nice to see that it is a consistent thing in the 3 different 7-Elevens I went to. They all had it. That's really great. Nothing is more frustrating. We've had it with Ices in the past. Looking at you, AMC theaters. Those have been very hit or miss. And granted, there's only one AMC in the area, but it is nice to see that 3 different 7-Elevens had this Slurpee available, so you can go try it if you would like it. If you have tried these, which I would recommend the cookies, let me know what you thought down in the comment section below. If you'd like more content from me, you can subscribe and ring the bell. You can also subscribe right over here. Suggestions in the comment section as well. Got distracted with the Slurpee thing. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'm going to try and hold down this burp as I tell you. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time on Taste Test. And as always, bon appetit.